A rare February night filled with tornado warnings and watches. Monroe County taking the brunt of this storm tonight. You can see it here in this video shared by one of our viewers. This is Elren, about 10 miles southwest of Bloomington. And let me show you some of the damage left behind tonight. Businesses and homes torn apart, trees and signs knocked down. Thanks for inviting us in on this Thursday night. It's 11 o'clock. Alex Almanza and Sam Johnson are covering these storms from Monroe County tonight. You'll hear from them in a moment. But Angela, what's happening with the storms right now?
Well, we still have a few storms. Yep. Just heard from the National Weather Service. They are going to let the tornado watch expire here at 11 o'clock. So we will see this drop within the next couple of minutes. We did get one more severe thunderstorm warning for Bartholomew County, but National Weather Service says also they're going to let that go at 11 o'clock. But you can see we still have a few areas of storms right now. Everything at this point below severe limits, and now the radar is clear in terms of that tornado watch that just in from the National Weather Service. This is that stronger storm they're keeping an eye on near Jonesville and Elizabethtown. It is east of Columbus. A few additional clusters of storms coming out of Johnson County. This is moving toward the Shelbyville area. We have additional storms Brownsburg and Danville. Still may end up with some gusty winds and some small hail, and definitely dealing with the heavy rain from Rushville to Connorsville, Richmond to Knightstown, and some additional storms developing northwest of Lafayette. At this point, no watches, no warnings, but we continue to monitor some storms locally for at least the next hour or so. On the backside of this weather system, much colder air. It's cold enough for some snow across parts of Iowa. We will swing a cold front through central Indiana over the next several hours, and you're going to feel that weather pattern change. Lots to cover in the full forecast.
All right, Angela, we'll see you in a little bit. Now, we've shown you some of the damage across Monroe County tonight. Right now, Alex Almanza is in Bloomington. This is where several businesses were damaged. Alex, what have you been seeing there?
Well, we've been seeing a lot of damage, and not just not really condensed in one specific area, but parts of buildings completely just kind of torn off and moved to even different parts of parking lots. So you can see this big piece of wood definitely wasn't here before. This storm caused lots of damage, and we can see behind me right here. All this is from this bank right here. This is a Fifth Third Bank on the west side of Bloomington. You can see the amount of wood. We've even got big pieces of metal right here. They've just kind of been thrown around. And like I mentioned earlier on in our coverage, even just small pieces of metal, those can become dangerous projectiles when they are flung around at high speeds. They can be very dangerous. And so luckily we haven't heard any injuries yet, any injuries reported. But I did speak with a woman who, she was actually at the Planet Fitness. She was at the gym when the storm started to kind of roll in. And so when she started to see that those high winds and that rain, she actually moved her car underneath this awning right here at the Fifth Third Bank, thinking that it would be safe. But for her, it really wasn't. And so all this debris just started to fall around her, and it became a very scary situation.
I'm for real. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I gotta put my head down, I swear to God, oh my God.
So she said that she didn't want to be identified, but she shared that video with us and just kind of explained the emotion that was going through her head as all this debris really started to fall around her. And so this is just the start of the damage that we're showing you here. Pictures don't do it justice. There's also a Menards just south of us that we saw some viewers show us some photos of the damage there. And it's all around Monroe County. So as soon as the sun rises, we expect the National Weather Service is probably going to be doing some surveying to really determine the amount of damage that was done. We talk about F1, F2, F3. Those are categories that are really just based on visual observation. So when they go out here and they do those observations, we're going to learn a little bit more about how much damage and how much power this storm really had.
Yeah, sorry to see so much damage there in Bloomington. We're glad no injuries have been reported, Alex. Thanks. Tonight, we also found homes damaged. Samantha Johnson talked to several families tonight impacted by this severe weather.
When that storm blew over parts of Monroe County around 7 o'clock Thursday night, this is where we took shelter. The fire department, Station 29, which is just next to the Monroe County Airport. It was loud, it was windy. We took shelter inside as that storm blew over. Sirens sounding between streaks of lightning and powerful winds blowing through Bloomington.
All of a sudden you could see the lightning off toward the airport, and it kept getting worse, and then it got really dark.
Those skies turning black, leaving behind a line of damage.
I think it went right over our house, and our roof started blowing.
Carolyn Tilford has lived here for 25 years and has never experienced this.
My husband and I was thinking, oh, we better hold on tight, because I don't want to blow out the top of the roof.
Down the street, even more damage.
We said a prayer. I think Jesus protected us, thankfully protected everybody in our neighborhood. And whenever the storm passed, we unfortunately came outside and our neighbor's house was hit, very unfortunately, but everybody's okay.
All sorts of debris seen all over this neighborhood, including a little bit of this in someone's front yard here. Thankfully, the neighbors we talked to tell us none of their neighbors were hurt.
But thank God it didn't do any more damage.
I've never felt my heart beat so fast.
Yeah, we are safe. That's the main thing.
This is a look at the flag right outside Station 29. It was not like that before this storm rolled through. Of course, now the concern is damage, debris, cleanup, and of course, making sure everyone in this neighborhood is safe. Of course, we'll know much more once we get daylight here in Bloomington.
All right, Sam, thanks so much. The cleanup will begin tomorrow, and we're always grateful to our viewers who send us pictures and videos. You really help us tell these weather stories. This is a picture of hail in Worthington from Tony Ray, and we also got a photo of hail in Greenfield from Corey Chapman. Again, a big thanks to everybody who sent us images from this storm. Please make sure, though, if you do that, that you're being safe when you're capturing any photos or video. We certainly don't want you to be injured doing it. Well, when these strong storms hit central Indiana, we'll be there for you, working to keep you and your family safe. You can follow along with our team of meteorologists and our extended weather coverage on our WTHR weather app and on WTHR Plus. Well, funeral arrangements are now set for the fallen Beech Grove police officer Brian Elliott, who was shot and killed Monday night while responding to a domestic disturbance. All week long, neighbors have honored him across the community. Tonight, our Logan Gay looks ahead to the memorials and what these tributes have meant to the city. Logan?
Scott, when you run a flower shop, customers walk through the door for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes to celebrate life's happiest moments, and other times it's during its most difficult ones. Staff at Steve's Flowers and Gifts say moments like this are a reminder that flowers often say what words simply can't.
As the Beech Grove Police Department continues to mourn alongside the community, former Lawrence Police Chief Gary Woodruff says now is the time to show support for the officers still on the job.
It's a good reminder for the officers that the people that all of our law enforcement agencies protect and serve, are grateful for the services that we provide to the community.
One-way neighbors are showing that support by dropping off flowers and mementos at the police station. Some of those arrangements are coming from Steve's Flowers and Gifts.
Traditionally, when a police officer, when we lose a police officer, blue flowers are usually the most popular ones.
The family-owned business has been around for more than 5 decades, long enough to help with services for other fallen officers.
A lot of times they come in from out of state, from other precincts and other police locations. So there's usually a lot of community and support through the sending of flowers.
As Elliott's funeral approaches, Steve Huth says many people are simply looking for a way to express what they're feeling.
It's a tough time as we're all trying to understand why a situation like this happens. Flowers are the best way to express people's love in this situation.
And it's in moments like this that the community support really speaks for itself.
You always think that those situations happen in somewhere else, but they do. And to see the community come together and celebrate someone's life, someone that was very dedicated to protecting the community. It's kind of heartwarming, but it's sad at the same time.
Former Lawrence Police Chief Gary Woodruff says during this time, someone is always with Officer Elliott's body and with his widow, Erin. The visitation for Officer Elliott is on Sunday from 2 to 7 p.m. at Beech Grove High School. His funeral is on Monday morning at 11, also at the high school. Both are open to the public.
All right, Logan, thanks. And if you'd like to pay your respects to Officer Elliott during these upcoming memorial services, we've got all the info about times and locations online right now. You can also find the link to the approved fund supporting Officer Elliott's family if you're interested in making a donation, all right now posted on WTHR.com. New tonight at 11, a man is dead after a shooting here in Indianapolis. Police initially got called to Community Hospital South around 6 o'clock tonight, but witnesses told officers the man was shot along Camden Street near US 31 and Southport Road. Homicide detectives tonight are investigating. We're working right now to learn what led to that gunfire and if police have identified a possible suspect. Tonight, a neighborhood on the near northeast side of Indianapolis is riddled with bullets. The gunfire took place Tuesday night near 25th and Keystone. You can see some of the damage left behind in a garage and near a front window. We talked to one woman who lives in this area. She didn't want to show her face, but she told us that teens had been breaking into cars earlier that evening. An IMPD report shows officers recovered a stolen handbag and documented 4 vehicles. The woman told us that she thinks a neighbor chased the teens and fired off gunshots. She says she was only feet away from one of those bullets.
Why is the front of my house shot up? And they said because they were shooting at each other. Anytime I hear a noise, I hear gunfire, I'm afraid. Are they shooting at my house again? And it's scary.
Officers discovered nearly a dozen shell casings and a teen who'd been shot. Police did not confirm if anyone was arrested for that shooting. Tonight, they're asking anyone who can shed any light on this investigation to call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. You don't have to give your name. Angela, we still have storms out there?
Scott, we do have storms, although lowering is that severe threat, which is good news, and I'm tracking a colder change coming in your forecast.
Right now, Indiana lawmakers are weighing changes to early voting in our state. Tonight, we want to show you how a proposed amendment would limit options for Hoosiers. That story's next.